Do you rock? Most people enjoy a good story. Imagine a story where you rock. I challenge you to make the difference in the world and then share your story to inspire, bring hope, and encouragement to others. Together, let us create a better, more peaceful world. Let's not just imagine world peace. Let's work for it. Are you doing something rocking in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, or the world? I would love to have you on my show to share your rocking stories. We are here with Bonnie Heilman with Next Up.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Oh, so tell us a little bit about Next Up.
Sure. Well, Next Up is a leadership program for 18 to 32-year-olds who are committed to social and environmental justice.
Oh, very good. So what kinds of things do you do?
Well, every year a new cohort takes the program, and it's about an 8-month program. And so they participate in different sessions that help prepare them to take leadership roles in the community around social and environmental justice issues. So the sessions, a lot of the sessions are issue focused. So topics like anti-racism and anti-oppression, body positivity, environmental issues, of course. And then a lot of the other sessions are skills-based, so training people in things like facilitation, storytelling for social change, and teaching a range of tools that help people take action in their communities.
Well, it sounds very diverse. So how did it get started?
Well, it actually started in Vancouver back in 2007. It was started by a group of people who noticed that there were a lot of leadership programs for young people who were interested in things like, becoming leaders in corporations, but nothing to help young people who are interested in addressing social and environmental justice issues. So they started it to fill that gap, and then it slowly moved eastward throughout Canada since then. It started in Saskatoon in 2010.
Okay, and what's the format for the program? Is it like a weekly meetings or weekly?
Well, when I took the program, so I was a participant in the 2015-16 cohort, and at that time we met every Monday evening, plus one weekend day per month. But last year they tried out a new format where they got together for a full weekend once a month throughout the year. And so they're actually, and that cohort just wrapped up last month, and they're not sure yet which format they're going to go with for next year. But if anyone's interested, they can check the website. The applications for next year will be open in August, and there'll be details on the website, nextup.ca.
So is there a charge for it? Or?
No, it's absolutely free.
Wow, that's wonderful. Free is always good.
Yeah, it's funded by contributions from donors, and
awesome.
sustained that way in various sites throughout the country. So it's pretty great.
So do you have a booklet that you follow, or just have guest speakers in, or how does it?
Yes, it's all guest speakers, and that was one of the things that I really appreciated about it, is that since 2010, Next Up has become a well-known program in our community, and so a lot of like well-respected leaders are willing to come in and present to the group. For example, we had a session from Sheila McLean, who is one of the founders of the Idle No More movement when I was in the program, and so. I think every year it changes a little bit depending on what type of issues are going on in the community and probably what the interests of those specific group members are. But
so it's training for future leaders, but do they go out in the community and do something with those skills after? Yeah, so what are some of the things that they're looking at?
Well, two of our current city councilors are Next Up alumni.
Oh, who are them?
Serena Gersher and Hillary Goff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, awesome. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Well, see, so it's important to develop skills in young people so they can build a better world. And that's what my show is all about. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because you rock. So talk a little bit more about this program that is helping young people.
Well, speaking of Serena and Hillary, that just reminded me of one of the sessions that we did when I took the program. It was one of our day-long weekend sessions, and it was about influencing change either from within the system or without. And we had speakers who were working within political systems. So we had Charlie Clark, who was a city councillor at that time, Sherry Benson, who is a federal MP. And we also had a community activist who is well known for the work that he does within the city of Saskatoon, advocating with the civic government to address issues related to accessibility for people with disabilities. So we heard from all three of them, and also heard from some people who work in foundations and like nonprofit organizations that work to influence political decisions and help engage citizens in those conversations, so that the decisions that are getting made by our government on our behalf are informed by what people need and what people want.
And I always believe grassroots projects are some of the best, because then it is a need that people want and see, and change is kind of from the local people. So when they set up the program for speakers, it's not just local speakers, it could be anybody?
That's right. That session I was just talking about, we had two speakers Skype in, one from Edmonton and one from BC. So because Next Up is a national network,
it's
we're
national.
able to connect with leaders from lots of different places.
So it's all across Canada, or?
Well, it moved to Regina last year.
Okay.
I think there's one in Winnipeg.
Okay.
But I don't want to say for sure.
Okay, well,
the website has all the
the
sites.
information, and they'll check it out.
I know.
So if someone wants to be a speaker, could they contact your organization, or besides being on part of the program?
Oh yeah, I think so. Tracy Mitchell is the coordinator.
Okay.
And she's a very open person, easy to connect with. So if someone has a topic that they think would be beneficial for this program, then she can be emailed at sask@nextup.ca.
Okay, good. So how many people are they putting through? Like, do you have a number of set people each time, or it's open to numbers? Or
I think it's fairly flexible. My cohort was, I believe, 16 or 18 people. I went to the graduation of the most recent cohort, and it looked like a slightly larger group. So I think it's flexible. There is an application process, and they do interviews. Actually, that was a really interesting part.
tell us about that.
They do, so you fill out an application form, and then it's narrowed down to about twice as many applicants than in comparison to what they can accept, and then all of us got together for a group interview. And so that was, they led us through some group activities and group discussions, and the selection committee was in the room and participating and observing, just to see how people participate in the process and what the dynamics are between people, and then we had one-on-one interviews as well, and from that they narrowed it down to the 16 or 18 from that. So
To make up that specific cohort.
yes.
And that. So so there's a selection process for that. And then they train you, and does it go all year round, or?
Yeah, I think it was about 8 months.
8 months in total.
So about the length of the university school year. Yeah.
Well, they have some wonderful programs out there, and I'm really excited about these new programs, and young people have a lot of ideas. So what are some of the things that you learned through this leadership program?
Well, there's a few things that, I learned a ton about a wide range of issues, things that I knew about but had never had a chance to delve in as deeply as we did when we heard from the presenters. But there's a couple tools that we were taught that I continuously refer back to in the work that I do. One was called the Spectrum of Allies, which is a model that helps you understand how to connect with people who care about the issues and are affected by the issues that you're addressing. Another one was the 4 roles of social change, and I actually brought a copy of it with me here, because the 4 roles it describes is that are required to create meaningful social change are the citizen, the reformer, the rebel, and the change agent. And the reason I brought that to speak about is that right now we have, some major political issues going on in our province. And just last week, there was a group of people protesting at the STC bus depot in Saskatoon, and a few of them decided to occupy one of the last bus coming from Regina. And there's been a lot of not a lot, I would say, but some fairly high-profile people criticizing them for that type of political statement, saying that there's no room in our society for that type of action. It's called peaceful civil disobedience, and so I brought this because I think it's a good to remember that there is room and there is a need for all types of intervention when we have something as major going on as what we do in the province right now.
And it's so important, and I know with the library funding, people protested and they got the library funding back. So I think it's important.
That's
We are
right.
the people, we actually make up the government because we elect them in.
That's
so
right.
they're representing us.
Exactly.
Our voices. So
Yeah.
and that. Well, tell us again about how people can join your program.
Sure. Well, the best thing to do would be to go to the website, nextup.ca, to get information about the program. The applications for next year's cohort will be online in August.
Okay.
If you have specific questions, you can also email Tracy at sask@nextup.ca.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being on our show, and it was a pleasure to have you and to learn all about Next Up.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you. That was Bonnie with Next Up.